back in 1956 when they tore down Ramona Park in Grand Rapids when I was only 12. It's just a typical child, and some children like to think that they'll be a fireman or something, and I guess I always wanted to own an amusement park.
Cedar Park Funland, you'll have such a good time.
You'll want to go back
to Cedar Park Funland, you'll have more fun. It's the good time place.
Tonight we spotlight Deer Park Funland just north of Muskegon. Ken Colby reports on how the one-time petting zoo has become the largest park of its kind in West Michigan. Here's this week's success story.
Trying to give the customers as much fun for the least possible price as possible. For one, try to have a clean park and give people family entertainment, a place where the whole family can come and have a good time.
Twice the fun, Michigan's adventure. Twice the fun, wild water adventure. Twice the fun, 2 parks for the price of 1.
Michigan's largest amusement park opens this Saturday. At Michigan's Adventure and Wild Water Adventure, you get 2 parks for the price of 1. There's something for the whole family.
Twice the fun, Michigan's adventure. Twice the fun.
8 miles north of Muskegon. Russell Road exit off US 31.
Michigan's Adventure, located just outside of Muskegon, Michigan, has long held the title of Cedar Fair's most overlooked property. While parks like Cedar Point, Kings Island, and Carowinds have seen constant investment and additions over the past few decades, Michigan's Adventure has been quietly operating with virtually no major capital expansion since the 2008 relocation of Thunderhawk. That addition, while appreciated, came at a time when fans believed the park was due for a massive upgrade. Now, in a new era, following the Six Flags and Cedar Fair merger, the time has come for Michigan's Adventure to receive the investment it has deserved for years. A master plan for potentially 2 coasters out there. And yes, if they get just one of these coasters, that would be great for the park. But the hope would be for 2. So, let's see what getting these coasters would take. Welcome back to Ghoster Coasters, and today we're exploring how Six Flags could revitalize one of its most efficient properties without adding too much overhead and giving it all the love and attention the park has deserved since the early 2000s. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along with all of our park history and conversations. A huge shout out goes out to all of our channel members for being part of the community. We really couldn't do it without all of you guys. Now, let's get into the lineup at Michigan Adventure, why it runs so operationally efficiently, and how we could expand the ride lineup without overstretching the park's infrastructure and operational overhead. Michigan's Adventure has remained one of the most efficient and profitable parks in Cedar Fair's entire portfolio. With annual attendance typically hovering around 800,000, reaching as high as 1 million in 2011, it ranks as a mid-tier park by traffic, but a top-tier performer when measured by operating margins. Industry reports and earnings calls from Cedar Fair have repeatedly noted that smaller parks with limited capital expenditures can achieve higher profit margins due to streamlined staffing, minimal debt, and lower maintenance costs. Now, let's talk about something everyone loves to throw out there. Michigan's Adventure is efficient because it doesn't invest in anything. And yeah, there is some truth to that. The park has kept operating costs pretty low, they didn't overextend, and has run lean for decades. But here's the thing. Being efficient doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you grow smart. We're not talking about building 2 brand new $10 to $20 million coasters from scratch. We're talking about reusing rides from within the chain. That keeps capital costs low and avoids risky spending. The park already has the staff, operations, and infrastructure to handle more people. It just doesn't currently have the rides to draw them in. These 2 additions would fill out the map, improve guest flow, and boost attendance without needing to double the workforce. In fact, spreading out the crowds, opening more of the park, and connecting the loop, and giving people a reason to stay longer would actually make operations smoother. And when guests stay longer, they eat more, buy more, and spend more. Michigan's Adventure in particular excels in the low investment, high return operating model. It operates with a short summer season, typically Memorial Day through Labor Day, which helps control labor and utility expenses. Most of its workforce is seasonal, allowing for it to scale operations to demand. The park's ride lineup includes high-capacity attractions like Shivering Timbers and Thunderhawk that require minimal staffing and have a higher throughput. These rides, especially Shivering Timbers, still draw coaster enthusiasts and repeat local guests, along with the water park, maintaining a stable attendance base with minimal marketing spend at all. In the Shivering Timbers case, it's one of the coasters people have to ride that they never heard of until they do. The park's layout also contributes to its efficiency, though they do need to complete the loop entirely. Maintenance teams can cover more ground with fewer staff, and guest services operate smoothly within the condensed footprint. Because the park has already made incremental improvements, such as upgrading its Camp Snoopy area for families and investing in small water park additions, guest satisfaction has remained strong even without the new coasters. Perhaps Michigan's Adventure has served as a test case for Cedar Fair's low investment, high efficiency park model. While flagship parks like Cedar Point and Kings Island require constant investment to maintain their branding and attendance, Michigan's Adventure has proven that with careful maintenance, moderate attendance, and controlled cost, a park can remain profitable year after year. This makes it the perfect candidate for strategic reinvestment. If it can perform so well without new rides, imagine what it could do with them. By capitalizing on this efficiency and operational discipline, Six Flags can feel confident that any investment in Michigan's Adventure will be supported by a financially stable foundation. The park already punches above its weight in returns. With 2 relocated coasters and thoughtful infrastructure expansion, it could finally soar to a level fans have always hoped for, without sacrificing the efficient model that's kept it successful for so long. Now, which rides are we talking about, and how could we integrate them? Of course, in a perfect world, we get both, but if we get just one of them, that would be great for everybody. Let's get into it. Coming up first, we have Railblazer, a single rail coaster designed by Rocky Mountain Construction. Its efficient footprint makes it an ideal candidate for the relocation. Rather than letting this modern ride be scrapped after the closure of California's Great America, Cedar Fair could give it a second life in Michigan. Railblazer offers a tight layout with steep drops, snappy turns, and airtime moments that would instantly become one of Michigan Adventure's best coasters, and it would give fans something it's never seen before. Its intensity would appeal to the thrill seekers, while its smaller size means it could be easily integrated into the underused back portion of the park. How would we theme this at Michigan's Adventure? Well, as Ghost Ship Lake. Hear me out, guys. This ride explores a mist-covered lake where ghosts are said to wander near forgotten wrecks. Focus here is kind of on the supernatural more than specific ghost ship stories. We'll get to that later. The queue winds through a lakeside ghost town, weathered docks, abandoned boat type of thing, old fishing gear covered in seaweed type stuff. Ghostly figures appear in the fog, creaking wood, distant calls, lost sailors, all of that creating a spine-chilling kind of soundtrack through the queue. The trains would kind of just act as though they were gliding across ghostly lakes and eerie reflections on haunted water surfaces created by special effects. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think, but we're going to keep moving on. This is an interesting one here. Arguably the crown jewel of them all. This would be Superman, Ride of Steel, the Intamin hypercoaster from Six Flags America. At 208 feet tall and 73 miles per hour, it delivers exactly the kind of speed and scale Michigan's Adventure has lacked, and they were at one point looking for. This addition would be especially loved considering that in the early 2000s, before Cedar Fair acquired the park, original owners had already begun planning for a 207-foot Morgan hypercoaster to be installed on the property. Cedar Fair's purchase reportedly halted those plans, leaving fans with over 2 decades of speculation and frustration. By relocating Superman to Michigan's Adventure, the chain would not only deliver the hyper that was once promised for the park, but would fulfill a long-standing wish of fans who have watched the park remain the same for decades. And they could kind of right a wrong. Now, how would we integrate this? We would kind of incorporate this with the Railblazer theme a little bit, but this would be the Great Lakes Storm Runner. This coaster becomes a race through the wrath of the Great Lakes' most legendary storms. The station is designed as an old lighthouse, kind of a rocky shore, battered by winds and waves. Now, each train car would pay homage to a famous shipwreck, like the Edmund Fitzgerald or the SS Carl D. Bradley. Things that Michiganders kind of understand, and it would be, symbolic to the state. The ride is like the fury of the storm. Towering drops become crashing waves. Intense airtime hills and tight turns represent gusts of violent wind. Passing through a misty tunnel simulates kind of plunging through the waves, you know what I mean. Like, this could be really good. Good lighting effects. You could recreate the flicker of a lighthouse guiding sailors back to the station. It would capture the haunting mystery of the Great Lakes and pay homage to Michigan tales of beyond. Beyond the thrill and additions to a park longing for them, the benefits of this plan lie in its financial responsibility. Constructing new ground-up coasters like B&Ms or Intamins or Mach, etc. can cost anywhere from $10 to $25 million or even more. There's, before factoring in rising steel costs, construction tariffs right now, global shipping logistics, and labor shortages. Relocating existing coasters, especially ones that are already owned or coming from closing parks, offer a vastly more affordable alternative. Instead of building a new coaster at the park, The chain could realistically move and install both rides at a total cost of less than $15 million. For a park like Michigan's Adventure, that kind of investment could trigger an attendance boom and help the park finally turn the corner into a must-visit status. Now, $15 million is rough, guys. Obviously, they'd have to work on some infrastructure things, marketing, and other stuff, but it's just a rough estimate for what they could do. $2.495 million, moving it over, it's doable. This relocation initiative would also include necessary infrastructure upgrades such as building new restrooms, adding food and beverage kiosks, and connecting the new attractions with a loop of walkways and signage. These improvements would transform the flow of the park, inviting guests to spend more time, explore more of the park, and ultimately increase the per guest spending. Parks like Disney and Universal have long proven that infrastructure is just as important as attractions when it comes to shaping guest experiences. By modernizing these elements alongside the new coasters, Michigan's Adventure would position itself as a complete, enjoyable, and unique park in the Midwest over here in Michigan for people who don't want to take that trip out to Cedar Point and just want to go for the day. It would be a day trip park for sure. Operationally, this plan also makes sense. Each of the relocated coasters is relatively self-contained and does not require massive amounts of staffing or training to run. Cedar Fair and Six Flags already have standard operating procedures in place for Intamin and RMC rides, meaning staff from other properties can help onboard teams quickly and efficiently. Seasonal workers in Michigan are already accustomed to the summer grind, and with only modest increases in labor required, the park could scale operations smoothly without dramatically raising its overhead. Perhaps most compelling is the opportunity to finally give the Midwest a true alternative to Cedar Point and Kings Island. While Cedar Point is iconic, it's also crowded, a little more expensive, and at capacity during peak seasons. Michigan's Adventure could serve as a more affordable, accessible park for families and enthusiasts throughout Michigan, northern Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois. With the two relocated rides in place, it would kind of offer a compelling enough lineup to draw regional tourism versus just the local tourism and the couple of extra people who visit out there. It would increase season pass sales and establish itself as more than just a local amusement stop. The newly merged Six Flags and Cedar Fair chain is now in a unique position to realign all of its portfolio. With certain properties like California's Great America and Six Flags America winding down operations, these ride assets must be redistributed. Now, instead of auctioning them off or letting them rot or scrapping them, the chain can use them to breathe life into parks that have been underserved. Michigan's Adventure represents the best canvas for this strategy. A large footprint, strong local support, low competition, and a major need with room for expansion. By getting either of these coasters, the company turns a long-forgotten park into a reinvigorated asset. Fans have waited nearly 2 decades for Michigan's Adventure to receive its due. Through the relocation of Railblazer and Superman Ride of Steel, Cedar Fair and Six Flags have the opportunity to deliver on that promise while staying well within budget. In doing so, they would not only elevate the status of the park, but demonstrate the power of creative, cost-efficient investment across the industry. What was once a forgotten corner of the theme park map could become one of its most exciting comeback stories. Like we said earlier, in a perfect world, getting both of these relocations would be great for the park. But even if they just get one, that would be great for everybody. But if you had to pick one, which one would you guys pick? Let me know down below. I know people are going to sound off on this, everything's crazy. Just think it through a little bit. Think about one, maybe even 2 of these being relocated here. Tell me how you feel about it. Bring yourself back to it. Leave your comments down below. It takes a while to kind of digest this and, really think about it. But for a park that's so efficient, it wouldn't really do much to the park except draw more and increase season passes and annual attendance and make those people who go, I don't know if I want to drive to Michigan's Adventure just for Shivering Timbers go, all right, we're going to the park for sure. So that's all I'm saying. It would definitely drive tourism a little bit more. It'd be great for the area especially. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, this is all crazy. Just what if it could happen? You never know with relocations within the chain. It could definitely happen. I had fun making this video, guys. Definitely let me know what you think. Where would you like to see rides go if you don't want to see Michigan Adventure get them? Definitely sound off down in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a big old thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. We're racing towards 5,000, and we could not do it without all of you. And of course, as always, thank you for being a part of our spooky community and for coaster ghosting with Ghoster Coasters. Let's have a Michigan Adventure Day, everybody.